everyone. From Olentangy Liberty High School here in Powell, we welcome you to a special Facebook Live previewing the Division I Boys Basketball State Tournament. I'm Dave Purpura, along with Jarrod, Ulrey, and our guest to begin the show here is the coach of the area team that's going to be in the Division I State Tournament tomorrow, Greg Nossaman. Coach, good to have you. Saw you a few times last weekend.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Jarrod. Well, good to see you guys.
Jarrod, of course, is our Liberty reporter, and you're going to be down there tomorrow night for their state semifinal. First time you've been in this. What's this like? I mean, getting to the regional tournament, you beat both Pickeringtons, and now some uncharted territory for the Patriots.
Yeah, you know, I thought we'd have a really good team this year. We bulked up our non-league schedule, played Cincinnati Taft and Hughes and Huber Heights Wayne and Pick North and in our non-league, and you know, we were very competitive all year round. And you know, our league was very competitive from top to bottom this year, and you know, we anticipated of having a good team, so that's why we bulked up our schedule. You know, our number one goal every year is to win a league title and have a chance to win a district title. And that's it. And the non-league losses, if those are going to happen, we want to play good teams. And that's what our guys wanted to do. And they've you know, risen to the occasion more than once this year. And you know, to have a chance to win a state championship and you know, playing the Akron St. V, who's been there, you know, they've got, I think, 8 titles overall and stuff. And we're definitely probably the underdog, but you know, our kids are playing well. They're playing with a lot of confidence and a lot of togetherness. So we like where we're at right now.
I know you had a great experience once at Willard a long time ago. How is this experience compared to that one?
Well, it's a little bit different because it was a small town, and the whole town lives and breathes basketball up there. And you know, but I've noticed here since we, you know, in the middle of the year, you know, we're winning. We get on a win streak here at the end, and plus our tournament games. Our community is really surrounded, you know, surrounded us by us, and have really shown a lot of support. And you know, at the Doha Dominican when we beat Pick North, I mean, there was probably at least 1,500 people over there, and it was loud, and they were great. And I'm like, man, wouldn't that be cool if they came to our games on Friday nights like that, you know? But you know, I know other things are going on in life, but they have rallied behind us, and our kids really appreciate that, and our coaching staff.
Going through this whole ride, was there a point where you thought, hey, this is a state tournament team that I'm coaching? I mean, that you had that capability, or did you kind of think that from the beginning that you had a pretty good chance?
You know, I thought that, you know, if, you know, a lot of things have to fall in line, you know, I mean, you know, Kaufman gets knocked off, Bradley gets knocked off, the 1 and 2 seeds, a lot of things happen, but, you know, I think the biggest thing was Mitchell Kirshner coming back. You know, he's our glue guy. He missed our first game. Mitchell hasn't lost, by the way. We've lost 4 games.
Yeah, you mentioned that the other day.
And he was hurt to those 4 games. So he went to a doctor, and he got some stuff done to his toe, and he's been able to come back. And he's our X guy. He's the glue. He's the guy that rebounds, defends, knocks down open shot when need be. He's 6'3", and he's strong. He can guard a guard, and he can go inside. So you need that. We got good role players. You know, he's going to college and play at Rochester. He loves the game, and he just plays. You know, they don't say anything back. They don't complain. If they get called for trouble, they're not saying anything to the ref, but they hand them the ball and they play. And it's just so refreshing to watch this group play. And I think, you know, and I'm glad Mitchell was able to come back because I think it was big for him too.
So 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Akron St. Vincent St. Mary. What's some of your thoughts about the matchup?
Well, it's, you know, I'm hoping that our non-league has prepared us for this. They're very quick. They're athletic. They're long. They have 6'6", long arms, and they attack the rim. And we're going to have to control tempo. We don't want to go up and down with them. We've got to make it a half-court game. Shot goes up, we've got to be very physical and box out. I mean, our fouls need to be because we're being overly aggressive. They jump well, and we've got to control the boards because they've done a very good job in the tournament of missing shots, not on purpose, but they go get the rebound,
sure,
and then they're quick at going right back up for layups. So, and handle their pressure. We've had a little bit of a trouble in regionals. We had 18 and 19 turnovers. We can't do that tomorrow night. We've got to keep it in the 11, 12, and our turnovers can't lead to quick baskets for them. So, you know, that's kind of the scout report there.
All right. Well, hey, good luck tomorrow. I know you have some other media folks in here waiting to talk to you. Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Jarrod. Appreciate it.
Good luck tomorrow night.
Greg Nossaman from here at Olentangy Liberty Patriots and Akron St. Vincent St. Mary. 8 o'clock tomorrow night is the tip.
Yep.
And that'll be the second semifinal tomorrow. The first one is going to be Cincinnati Moeller and Lakewood St. Ed's. That is at 6 o'clock. I guess logic would follow this at 6. But, you know, your thoughts as the Liberty beat reporter on this matchup that they've got tomorrow night. I got to see them both of the regional games. You saw them on Saturday. they're just playing very well. I'm not even sure Ben Roderick's name came up once in that interview, but
It's
obviously,
kind of amazing.
I mean, he's what, a first team All-State?
First team All-State, averaging 27.8 points a game. They've won 14 in a row. I mean, Roderick he's been incredible. I mean, all season. I mean, you think about what he's gone through over the last 14 months to lose the end of his junior season, not be able to play, and they went on that tailspin as soon as he got hurt. And then this year, they've had him the entire year. It doesn't even look like he skipped a beat at all.
And I remember I was at that game last year where he was injured against Olentangy. I mean, he had scored his 1,000th point moments earlier, and then he came down. It's like, oh, okay, he probably sprained an ankle. It didn't look all that serious at the time. And then after the game, obviously, he was being worked on by the trainers. He was still gracious enough to come out and talk to me and a reporter from another paper after he had scored that.
At that time, that he probably didn't even realize how bad it was himself.
He had a feeling, but he didn't know. I don't think anybody did.
This St. Vincent St. Mary team, they have a couple of really great sophomores. I mean, this is a team, they've traditionally, I mean, if everybody probably remembers when they won state with LeBron all those years ago, they were Division III back then.
Yes.
And then
was that 2002 or 03?
2003. Yeah. So then they've moved up. They moved up to Division II, and they were in the state tournament last year in Division II. And they have a lot of those guys back, including London. I believe it's London McDay. Really good player for them. And then they've got a couple of very, very good sophomores. They're going to be, in competitive balance, move them up to Division I, which is kind of amazing.
And Liberty is the only public school, by the way, in this bracket. Not that I personally don't think that's a huge. I mean, there are people who do. I mean, just that's the thing. I mean, it's just odd that competitive balance put St. Vincent St. Mary in this situation where they're in Division I.
And obviously, I think Moeller is going to be looked at as the favorite to win this.
That's what
Final
I've been
Four.
hearing for a while.
I mean, they've won 47 games in a row.
27-0 this year, I believe.
They haven't even lost to a team from Ohio for maybe like 2 years. I'm not sure. I mean, it's been a very, very long time since they've lost. That doesn't mean they can't be beat.
Sure.
Because they lost a lot of the guys to graduation that started in last year's team. They were able to add some players this year. They've got Alec. I'm not sure how you pronounce the name. It's Pfriem. Frim? Not really sure, but he's a really good player for him. He's 6'4". They got another kid named Miles McBride who's a really good player. They're big, they're bulky, they're well coached, obviously, because they've been to state so many times.
Yeah.
They're going to be a handful. I mean, I think that they're probably heavy favorites over Lakewood St. Ed, which St. Ed is another private school that has been. They make it to state in so many things.
Yes,
so they've got great athletes in that school. So you'd think that maybe they'd be able to hang with them, but if Liberty's able to get to that championship game and run into Moeller, I mean they've got a good shot as anybody.
You will be. You're going to be covering at least one championship game on Saturday. That
Absolutely.
being Harvest Prep. You were down at OSU earlier today. Harvest Prep beat Cincinnati Purcell Marion 48-41. 17 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals from C.J. Anthony led the way in that one. A couple observations on Harvest Prep, what they were able to do.
Well, they got off to a little bit of a slow start offensively. And I'm not really sure if that's due to the defense that they were facing or what exactly. They didn't seem real concerned about it, though, because Coach Dennis has been in these situations enough times. He understands that a lot of times these big games come down to defense and how you're going to, what are you going to do to stop the other team? Because field goal percentages and things like that are going to go down. I mean, Harvest Prep has been a great shooting team all year. That's the, I got corrected by one of their players a couple weeks ago at the district championship game when I said, hey, I thought you guys shot pretty well tonight. And they're like, yeah, we really didn't. Because I think they made something like 7 threes or something that game. I mean, they're traditionally,
by their standards,
like traditionally they're making 10, 12 threes a game. And they were nothing like that today. So maybe that bodes well for the championship. Maybe they're going to be able to find the net pretty consistently in that game.
Now, do we know who they're going to be playing yet? Is it Cardinal Stretch or is it Lutheran?
Look. I mean, Lutheran East was winning by double digits the last time I looked. So
they were playing Oregon Cardinal.
Apologize for not looking right before we come on here.
Well, so do I. I didn't realize that.
Lutheran East has been a powerhouse the last few years, and they've got a lot of guys back from that have experience. So
Well, as soon as you're done here, we are done here, you're going to be going right back to campus.
That's
for
right.
the South Bulldogs against the Generals of Thornville Sheridan. South's first time at state in 33 years. And they're taking on a Sheridan team that was in a unique situation. Both their boys and their girls made state. That doesn't happen all that often.
Yeah.
But the South team, first time in 33 years they're at state. What are your thoughts on that?
1986, yeah, was the last time they made it. They're a very balanced team. They play great defense. What they've done is they've figured out ways to get it done when they get into crunch time. I mean, they don't, they could go to Trayon Watkins if they want to. Travell Adams has had some really big games for him, and he's somebody that, he averages 10.5 points a game, but he had a huge regional for him. Taquan Symington, Marcus Johnson. They just have lots of different options, and that's probably the biggest thing that's in their favor. Sheridan is kind of new to this. I mean, not that they can't.
First time, I believe.
Not that they can't win, but I mean, South is a very experienced team, and I think you'd have to look at South between 7-1, having this experience. A lot of these guys were in the regional last year. They're probably going to be the favorites heading into this game tonight.
And has Sheridan seen anybody like South? I mean, I would
Probably
tend to
not.
seriously doubt
Right.
that. They have a leading scorer all-time, Ethan Heller. He averages 22 points a game. He is their all-time leading scorer
Right.
out there. And their center, Grant Heilman, big 6'7" presence, 12.5 points, and 6 rebounds per game.
If they win that, if South does win that today, they're going to play somebody that they're going to play like a superstar player, regardless of who they end up with. I mean, Trotwood Madison is probably the favorite to beat Akron Buchtel. Amari Davis averages 30 points a game.
It's not shabby.
He's not bad. But Buchtel has an excellent freshman, Chris Livingston, averages 23.5 points a game. So, maybe they're able. And I would think that Trotwood would probably be the favorite heading into that game.
All right, and we will be able to follow Jarrod's updates all weekend at Ulrey this week, recaps at ThisWeek Sports, and obviously in respective print editions next week. Well, we know the winter season is over Saturday no matter what. The spring season begins Saturday. For most teams, some teams are already underway. Lacrosse started last week.
Yeah.
You can see behind us the Liberty Boys volleyball team is filing in for their practice
There was a girls lacrosse game on the 14th. I mean, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Really early.
You had, even among some of the teams I cover, New Albany was a Division I state runner-up last year. Played DeSales, which has been a Division II power for quite some time, beat them 10-9. DeSales plays Upper Arlington tonight in a matchup. I mean, UA, the defending Division I state champions, they open tonight over at DeSales. That's
Jerome, in boys lacrosse, Jerome plays Kaufman tonight.
That's
at 7:15. I mean, that's.
It's a shame you won't be able to go to that.
It is. I mean, that's one of the biggest rivalries around here.
Yes, it is. What's the Emerald Cup or something they play for?
It's
in
part
Dublin,
of
or
it.
is that something that's different?
That's the Emerald Cup. That's right.
Okay, and is that between all three
It's
schools?
between all three schools. It includes Scioto.
Absolutely. And you mentioned when we were chatting about just the show, Dublin Kaufman was a regional champion last year.
That's right.
Worthington Kilbourne was a regional champion last year, I believe. In the two regions that encompass this area. UA girls have won 4 in a row.
Baseball, we're here at Olentangy Liberty, and they're defending state champs.
Absolutely. And some of the guys that are important to this team also are important to the baseball team. Jack Metzger, what was he, their starting pitcher in the state championship game that they won last year, I believe.
That's right.
It's funny. I
Oakley.
think Mitchell Oakley, Mitch Kirshner was, what didn't he do for the football team this year? Ben Roderick used to play football. Of course, he was not there this year because of his injury that he had suffered. But I think there's probably something to that, and I think the coaches in any sport, I think the baseball coach would probably tell you if they make another deep run that kind of athleticism is key to what they want to do. Obviously, the next 2 months are going to tell. I mean, the spring sports, we always talk about it this week. Fall sports are the first sprint. Winter's a marathon. Spring is a sprint as well because you're looking at, 2 months from today, May 21st, a lot of teams are going to be already done for the year in 2 months that haven't even started yet. It's just the way this goes. Obviously we've got a chance for a lot of glory around this area this year.
It seems like almost every team I cover for the spring, they're like going to Florida or Myrtle Beach next week. A lot of the baseball and softball teams are.
Yeah, I've been trying to get a hold of those people too.
Yeah,
for their previews.
They're learning. Not necessarily learning, but obviously they've all been around long enough to realize we've got to get out of Columbus in the late part of March, because the weather's just too unpredictable.
It is, and then we're all going to be chasing games around here in the next few months because of all the rain, and yes, maybe even some snow. We've seen that before.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It
But,
didn't even seem like we had a spring last year.
no, it really didn't. It went straight from about 40 to 90, it felt like overnight, and it probably will again this year. I guess we'll see. Well, the next time we talk to you is going to be coming, I think April 12th. I believe we're going to be announcing the winter honorees for our Winter Spring Sports Banquet. That is going to be May 22nd at Villa Milano up on Schrock Road. We'll be announcing the winter honorees then. We're going to announce the spring honorees then sometime probably about the second week of May. It's going to be a quick turnaround.
It's very early, but we'll do the best we can to get it.
Yes, we
to
will.
The right people.
We'll go off the body of work that we have, and obviously our winter guys and girls, it's a little easier because we have 4 months of work to reflect on.
Right.
But we will bring all those honorees to you coming up in about 2.5 weeks. For Jarrod, actually, I guess it'll be 3 weeks.
Yeah.
For Jarrod, Ulrey, for Coach Greg Nossaman, I'm Dave Purpura. So long, everybody.